I started 10 years ago, so I'm a bit of a veteran, so to speak. I was just graduating from college, and I remember discovering this site, and I was like, I would like to give it a try. I was not convinced that I want to do this on long term, but I said, okay, let's see what this is about. And I discovered some people that kept me here for so long. I mean, this is the beginning. A postgraduate girl trying to figure out, because it was a hype here. It was sort of a taboo here, but it was also like, okay, why is everybody so shocked about this industry? I want to see what is it about. I was graduating in psychology. I got an MA in psychology, and I was like, okay, let's see, why are people so shocked about this? Let's see what's happening here behind the closed doors. And I stayed for 10 years.
I love that. Okay, that's really interesting. So you have a degree in psychology.
Yeah, yes, I do. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're using your degree on the site?
To some extent, yes, some of the guys were telling me, oh, you are the therapist. You tell me what this means, what this says about me. And sometimes I even ask questions in a certain way that it looks like it's therapy sometimes. How do you feel about this? Or and they start laughing and I start laughing and I say, okay, relax. I'm not trying to give you a diagnosis or anything. Let's just relax.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I think I've heard from many models and many members
Hmm.
that the members in some cases do see this as like a sort of therapy because they feel like they can share things about themselves and their lives that they wouldn't feel comfortable sharing with other people in their day-to-day life. And they know that you,
Yeah.
as the model, you're not really judging them. You're really just there to have fun and accept them, really. And so I think
Mhm.
that makes them feel safer to be more of who they are, which is very therapeutic.
It is. It is an interesting process. Sometimes they are very defensive at the beginning and they don't want to share their lives, their actual lives. They keep it on the surface. Maybe they're still afraid they're going to be judged in some way. But after a while, if you have enough patience with them, they start sharing stories from their lives. And that's really, really interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like you build a certain bond and trust with them, and then
Hmm.
they're willing to really open up to you. And I want to talk about that because, as you know, being in the industry for 10 years, I'm sure you've dealt with all kinds of stigma and people thinking that the industry is one way. And so I want to talk about how these relationships develop. Are they just sexual? Is it only about sexual content? Or is there more to
No. Let's face it, like 90% of the time, people who join this site expect sexual interaction. It's true. But then there are like 10% of people who who are not looking for that. They don't want the sexual part, or if they do, they don't want it immediately. It's not like instant gratification for them. They prefer to develop a relationship. They prefer to know the person behind the model, just who you are. And then if at some point in your relationship, virtual relationship, the sexual stuff appears, it's better for them as well. They feel like you already have a connection. So it's not just, okay, let's get naked and do this, you know?
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think a lot of people would assume that everyone who goes to the site is just looking for sexual content.
No, they're not. When I first started, I was in a non-nude category. So I wasn't removing, let's say, not even my socks. I was completely dressed at that point, and we were just talking about random stuff. And for hours, it was on a daily basis, somebody coming around and talking about life, about random stuff, laughing and joking and everything. So yeah, they exist. They are out there.
What were some of the aspects of this industry that really surprised you when you started? Like you're like, whoa, I was not thinking that it would be like this.
I have to admit, I was pretty young when I started, so I didn't have enough experience with men in real life. So when I got here, I was like, wow, men really have these kind of fetishes. I would have never thought about that. They're real. For example, socks fetishes, nose fetishes, neck fetishes. I was like, people really have fetishes about those things. It was shocking for me at first, but yes, some love to watch you eating or sleeping or stuff you would never think of.
I've heard as a side note, it's many models' dreams to have a member take them private just to let them sleep. I heard that's like the dream.
Yes, it is the dream. It's true. Yeah. Where somebody who says, just ignore me. I've met guys who have this fetish. Ignore me. You can do whatever you want. Ignore me. Treat me like I'm not here. Okay. All right.
Yeah, all
I'm,
right. I have a lot to get done. I'll see you later.
exactly. I'll go cook something and okay, we'll talk later. You just stay here and look at the chair. It's empty. I'm not going to pay attention to you.
Interesting. Yeah, that's really fascinating. I'm curious, when you first started out, you didn't know how it was going to be and you were trying it.
Mhm.
What do you think ended up keeping you for 10 years?
During these 10 years, I kept telling myself, I'm going to quit in 1 year. I'm going to quit in half year. Okay, maybe till spring, maybe till summer. And then there were guys who were here asking stuff every day, like, how are you? What have you been doing? Let's share this, let's share that. And I was feeling like I would just disappoint them if I left. At some point, it became so close that I was like, but I want to see him for Halloween. I want to send messages for Christmas. We share Christmas stories. I can't go. They are going to be alone here. I'm their friend. I can't do that to them.
So it sounds like it's your relationships with the members that kept you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's interesting because I've heard from models who literally became Jasmin millionaires and they didn't need the money. And so they left. And they told me that after 6 months, a year, they were like, wait a minute. I miss it so much that they had to come back.
It's a bit addictive, so to speak, because if I take a day off, I feel like I'm wasting it. Why am I not there? What if that guy looks for me and I'm not there? Um, it gets addictive even for girls. It becomes like a habit to be here for this person and see what messages you got. You keep checking on your phone now on the application. Did somebody message me? Let's see who messaged me. It's, yeah, it becomes a part of your life, even if we don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
When you go on vacation, you say, oh, let's take a few pictures and send them because I told them I'm going on vacation. So it becomes part of your daily life. You like it or not, it is.
Would you say that you consider these relationships, while they're unique and different in their own
Mm-hmm.
way, would you consider them real relationships or kind of like performance and playing a part?
Um, I consider them real as an internet connection can be. Um, Maybe, just maybe, sometimes they think, oh, but it's just internet, it's just a site, I can behave however I want, because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I just hit the X button there and we're done. It's closed, it's gone. Um, so yeah, I consider them real, as real something virtual can be.
I'm curious, in these 10 years, and I'm from your experience, how real do these virtual relationships get for the members? Do you feel like there's ever been a member who really needed this relationship and connection in his life?
Yes, and not just one of them. Um, there are guys who have a very busy real life, so to speak, and they're working a lot, like a lot, and they have families, they have problems like everyone else. And sometimes they come here just to, to talk about that. And if I'm not there, sometimes they go like, I would have liked to see you today because something happened in my life and I had nobody to talk with about this thing because I know my wife wouldn't understand me and wouldn't listen to me.
So, for some of your members, you're saying you've found that they do need these virtual relationships like this out.
Yes, definitely, definitely they need it. Not just sexually, not just sexually. They need the interaction, sometimes just the flirt. The idea that they can flirt with you and nothing can happen. Besides that, it's virtual. So we're flirting and you say this, I'd like to take you out on a dinner or something. But in real life, they would never do that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's the fantasy of doing it that they like.
Exactly.
It's fascinating how powerful fantasy is for a lot of people.
Yeah. It is. Um, I've been asking some guys, here. You say you'd take me out, but let's imagine we meet on the street and you are with your family, right? And you want to talk to me, right? Because you know me. Um, would you feel okay inventing that I'm somebody from your work or something just to get in touch with me? And only a few of them said yes. The rest would pretend they don't know you. So it is fantasy after all.
Hmm. Very interesting. I'm curious, with all of that said, and with your decade in the industry, that's really a significant amount of time. What do you believe is the main benefit that you provide your members?
The fact that I can listen to them and not judge. It is important for them to feel accepted and validated as they are. I'm pretty sure a lot of them in real life are wearing some masks, to be accepted by society, by family, by friends, by co-workers, I don't know. And when they can finally feel free, like they feel online, I think this is the biggest benefit you can bring as a cam girl to a guy, you know, accepting them and letting them be free who they are with no rules from society, friends, family, judgments, whatever comes in real life.
It's really interesting that you say that because I interviewed a model one time. I've interviewed a few models who have said that being a cam girl is about freedom and being free. That's one of the main reasons a lot of women decide to cam is the freedom
Mm-hmm.
it gives them in their lives. And what's interesting to me is what you just said is the highest value you feel that models offer members is giving them an opportunity to be free.
Yes, definitely. This is why they're here. If they wanted to stick to the rules and wear the mask, they would probably be somewhere else, not online looking for acceptance and understanding, right? You don't realize this stuff until you get in this industry. Maybe you see people on street, guys on street that look happy in their relationships and, happy with their lives in general. But under that, there might be a man who is unhappy. And how can he be free?
It's so true.
You need to fill that emotional gap somehow in some sort of way. And if these kind of sites wouldn't exist for them. They would probably go out there and find somebody. And I don't know what's more harmful for a relationship, a virtual relationship with a girl that he doesn't see in real life, or somebody he can actually see and take out to dinner and give gifts to and take on vacations. I don't know what's more harmful from that point of view.
What are some of your favorite parts of this career?
Oh, my the compliments. I love the compliments. I think it's part of us women. We love to be complimented. You're so beautiful, you're so smart, you're the love of my life, whatever comes that way. I love those. I just feed on those. And at the beginning, I have to admit, I was not even completely sure they're honest about those. I was saying, maybe they do this just because they want to be polite. But in the end, why wouldn't they be honest with you on a campsite? Nobody's forcing them to say those things, right? They're just saying those because they believe those. So this is one of my favorite parts, the compliments.
Of course, having a whole legion of men telling you how wonderful you are. It sounds
Exactly.
lovely every day. It's like, all right, guys, I'm here. What what do you think that's done for how you view yourself and your self-esteem?
Uh, that's a very good question because, as I said, when I started, I didn't have a lot of experience with men in real life. Uh, so when I came here, I've sort of become a grown-up woman with them. And now, I mean, if somebody wants to be rude to me, and some guys are petty and saying nasty words to girls just because they're frustrated or stuff, but the fact that you know your value. I mean, if 100 men tells you that you're smart and beautiful, and that one comes and says nasty stuff to you, I mean, you better believe the 100 men telling you nice stuff, not the one who had a bad day at work. So the self-esteem is definitely growing on this side. It changes you. You don't care too much about the insults, even in real life. In real life situations, it's working the same. I mean, if you know that 100 unknown men told you that you're beautiful and you're smart and you're valuable, and somebody on the street comes and says, "Oh, you're ugly" or something like this, the bullying, you're like, "Oh, come on, be serious. I mean, really?" I've been told I'm pretty by 100 men from all over the planet. Now go home.
Yeah, actually, I haven't thought about it like that before, but I see how because there's a large volume of compliments coming to the
Mm-hmm.
site,
Mm-hmm.
and especially for you, who you started at such this young age, where I think
Exactly.
it can impact you maybe a little bit more deeply,
Mm-hmm.
because there's been so much more compliments or love. When you do get one or two people who are saying something that's negative or mean or whatever the case is, it's not as easy to believe them because there's so much more love that drowns all.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whereas, other people who maybe don't get that much reassurance or compliments or
Mm-hmm.
appreciation on a daily basis, when they do get one or two people on the street that say something mean or nasty, it might be easier for them to believe it because they haven't had that deep reassurance.
Especially for women and for girls, because as we know, women and girls are sensitive to such remarks. You're ugly, you're fat, you're worthless, and stuff like this, because this is how society functions.
I want to keep these interviews authentic and real.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to make it seem like there's not any hard parts of this industry. And so, from your perspective, what are some of the challenges of being in this industry?
Well, first of all, when you're on a site like this, you need to put in a lot of effort. You need to be online for a long time, for a very long time, during the day or the night, whatever you choose. And it can be isolating for girls. You just can't keep up working, social life, going to parties and everything. You can't balance everything. It, you're a human being and you have this amount of time to do things. So it's very isolating. Sometimes you find yourself that, oh, where are my friends? Oh, they're on vacation, I'm working. Where are my friends? Oh, it's Saturday evening, they're out, I'm working. So slowly you become isolated. This is one problem. Then there are other problems, like sometimes the relationship with the site is a bit difficult for models. um, they have certain rules, they have certain requirements. They have people who are working there, and sometimes they're bugging you with stuff. So there are a lot of challenges in this, and people don't understand that. They see only the glamorous part of it. So it's affecting you mentally, firstly. This is what people don't understand. Being inside, it's summertime right now, right? And you would like to be out. You would like to go somewhere, I don't know, hiking, getting tan. Oh, you can't. You have to be here. You need to have a schedule. Uh, these are the challenges that I see usually. I would like to go out, but I can't. I have a schedule. I need to be here. So of course you lose friends sometimes. It happens. I've seen friends getting jealous because you have more money than they do, and you can afford things they can't afford. So I've seen them leaving, and I was feeling bad at first. I What am I doing wrong? Why is this happening? But now I honestly don't care. I'm going to sound so heartless, but I don't care. If you want to stay in my life, then fine, you're welcome to stay. But if you want to leave, the door is open.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of that happens in life, whether you're a cam model or not, people kind of getting funny with how they feel about what you're doing or not doing or how people
Mm-hmm.
see
Mm-hmm.
you. Another thing, when you were talking and you were saying one challenge of this industry is that you can grow to feel really isolated because it is very important for you to keep up your hours. That is one of
Mm-hmm.
the ways to be successful on the site. And when I was listening to you talk, I was thinking about, when I sometimes watch interviews with really well-known business people or entrepreneurs, that's
Mm-hmm.
something they say too, where it's like because they had to pour into their business, they did miss out on a lot of fun or, different activities that their peers were doing. And from my eyes, cam models are like business women. You really are running, it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like your brand.
Yes, it's true.
I really enjoyed this interview. I like to end the interviews by asking one final question, which is what is something you're the most grateful for in your life right now?
Uh, I'm going to sound so arrogant right now, but I'm so grateful for the person that I am right now. Um, I changed a lot during these years, and I think right now I'm my best version, the best version that could ever exist. Wisdom, maturity, stable financially. So I'm really grateful for who I become.
No, I think that's beautiful. Yeah, that's really beautiful that you have grown into the person, a person that you love. Not everyone.
Exactly. And even if I'm going to leave this industry at some point, in 6 months, in a year, in two, in three, I'm going to keep this person. So I think it's really important to be happy with who you are at a certain point in your life. I'm going to keep this.
That's really beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful that this career and LiveJasmin has helped shape you into this
Mm-hmm.
love. And like you mentioned, having financial stability and security, especially in my opinion, as a woman, it is so important in this day and age. And it's really gives your life a certain amount of stability that I think can just help you relax and be more calm and at peace in your life. And I think it's really important.
It is. Plus, life is life has up and downs, right? Maybe at some point you're not going to have the amount of money that you have right now. Maybe you have less because it happens. But deep down, you know you can reach that level again because you did it once. So you can do it again. And this is the most important. If you could do this, you can do that again.
Very well said. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you as well. I'm happy we finally did it. Bye.